Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. أيها السيدات والسادة، سيبدأ البرنامج بعد قليل، لذا نرجو منكم التكرم بالجلوس في مقاعدكم.
Ladies and gentlemen, please silence your phones. Our program is about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. أيها السيدات والسادة، سيبدأ البرنامج بعد قليل، لذا نرجو منكم التكرم بالجلوس في مقاعدكم.
Good evening, distinguished guests, faculty, students, and members of the KAUST community. I'm Samia Falimban, Director of the Office of Culture, Enrichment, and Engagement, and the Director of the Winter Enrichment Program. It is my pleasure to be your MC tonight and extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you at the opening ceremony of King Abdullah's University's 15th Winter Enrichment Program 2024 Digital Adventures, Ride to the Future. Tonight, we have put together an exciting program for you, and I sincerely hope you find it enjoyable and enriching. And now, it is my honor to introduce the welcoming remarks from KAUST President, Professor Tony Chan.
I'm delighted to inaugurate our 15th edition of the Winter Enrichment Program. known as WEP. Now, some of you have traveled from around the world to be here, and some of you call KAUST home. But to all of you, distinguished national and global guests, KAUST faculty and students, and those watching virtually, welcome. You make WEP what it is, a constellation of diverse, brilliant minds coming together to contemplate and advance a bright future. WEP represents KAUST's commitment to fostering intellectual curiosity, nurturing creativity, and inspiring innovation. We bring together people in academia, research, culture, and industry to challenge our perspectives and broaden your horizons. Our goal is to empower you to push boundaries and pioneer new ideas in a way that can only happen when people from different disciplines meet in one place. This year's theme of WEP is Digital Adventure, Ride to the Future. Over the next 10 days, we will explore our AI-infused future and how it can power 4 interrelated areas, which also happen to be pillars of KAUST's research. These areas are health and wellness, the environment, energy, and economies of the future. I've said it before, but in important ways, the future is already here. There's no longer any question as to whether AI will drive the greatest advancement for humanity. The only question is how we will navigate, how we will leverage, and how we will play a role in this ever-evolving AI-driven world. This means we have to ask scientific questions and technical questions, yes. But it also means, importantly, we have to ask questions about ethics, about AI's impact on society and people, and about how we can make sure AI is the answer to a better world for all and not something to fear. Years ago, we thought AI may replace humans through automation in things like manual labor, but that our brains, our very human creativity, were safe from its reaches. But we have even begun to question this very assumption. We now see AI creating compelling artwork, writing prose, and generating song lyrics. Now, I have yet to see AI writing a convincing original joke, which is perhaps a remaining testament to the complexity of the human experience, if not the brain. How can we elevate and augment the human world by responsibly harnessing these new and expanding dimensions of the AI world? How separate are they, and how long will they remain so? Even as we speak, we hear about people in the thousands eagerly singing up to trial AI-powered brain implants through the Neuralink startup in the US, which promises to use AI in harmony with the human brain to help people achieve more they ever could on their own. It really does seem like the future has arrived. Our speakers and thinkers will attempt to answer all these questions and more from a variety of angles and employing a wide range of insights and expertise. We will find out how AI can unlock innovations in healthcare, how AI can empower sustainability, how it can deal with our increasing global energy demands, how it can help countries, organizations, as well as individuals to make sense of the world through data. I will personally be addressing some of these topics as part of a panel discussion on the last day of the program, and I hope to see you there. Now, in the spirit of interdisciplinarity that defines KAUST and our digital future, this year's program is chaired by computer science professor Xin Gao, who is also director of our Computational Bioscience Research Center, and co-chaired by marine science professor Michael Berriman, who is the director of our Red Sea Research Center. These professors and their teams use the power of AI and KAUST's robust digital infrastructure to engineer new discoveries and pioneer solutions to major national and global scientific challenges. As you may have guessed by now, WEP is an opportunity to hear from inspirational figures from all walks of life. So in addition to our scientists, business leaders, and entrepreneurs, we welcome athletes, artists, and culture makers from around the world to share their perspectives and connect our common experiences. This year, we are welcoming Shoaib Akhtar, a star athlete known as the fastest bowler in cricket. Also this year, we have a special addition to the program called Athar from East to West, which is a quest by KAUST Professor Matteo Parsani to bring attention to people with disabilities through a, listen to this, 28-day hand cycle journey that he will undertake from Dammam in the eastern province to KAUST here in the country's west. As I speak, Professor Matteo is on his journey, and he will be here to talk about the experience with us on January 18, WEP's last day. Please attend that session and hear about his inspiring mission. Finally, I would like to thank the organizers and Professor Xin and Berriman, our sponsors, and you, our guests. You make WEP the unique and enriching experience that has come to define not only these 10 days in January, but KAUST as a whole. I look forward to hearing the amazing ideas that will come out of this year's program as we continue together on this exciting ride to the future. Thank you.
Amazing words from an inspirational leader. And now it is my honor to introduce remarks from our biggest supporter, Vice Provost, Professor Suzana Nunes.
So here we are, starting KAUST's 15th Winter Enrichment Program, the WEP 2024. First, I would like to thank Professor Xin Gao and Professor Michael Berrumin, our chair and co-chair this year. I thank the WEP team and volunteers who work around the clock to make WEP possible. So WEP has become a KAUST tradition. It's a one-of-a-kind holistic learning opportunity to extend our academic life beyond sometimes the very highly focused and technical routine. So during WEP, in all these years, we have heard from Nobel laureates, inspirational leaders, artists, astronauts, explorers, philosophers. And I had myself the privilege to organize 2 WEPs in the beginning of KAUST. And this was an amazing experience. For me, it was the best way to learn about Saudi Arabia, the country I had embraced as home, but then realized that I didn't know almost anything. So it was the opportunity to learn about colleagues from all departments at KAUST and interact with them. More than that, I had a chance to meet some of the most inspiring international individuals. Perhaps one of my favorites has been Bertrand Piccard. So he's an explorer, an environmentalist. He completed a non-stop balloon flight around the world and built a solar plane and again flew around the world. But he's also a psychiatrist, and his talk is a life inspirational one, so beyond the pure technology. So he told us how flying a balloon shows and teaches that sometimes you need to fly at lower altitude and go up again to reach an exceptional goal. So some of his quotes is, whatever the winds you may encounter, it's only you who can define the altitude of your existence. So this year the topic is artificial intelligence. So it's a technology that might have an immense impact in our lives in the next few years. So in the next 2 weeks, use the chance to broaden your vision, engage, have the courage of raising controversial questions, make the most out of this enrichment experience, and above all, enjoy every moment of WEP 2024.
Key to the success of WEP every year is the pivotal role played by the chair. providing strategic leadership to the program. And this year, I am honored and privileged to have been able to work with Professor Xin Gao, who brought a wealth of experience, guidance, and insight. Professor Xin's dedication and expertise have significantly contributed to shaping the vision and content of this year's Winter Enrichment Program. Professor Xin has been with KAUST since 2010. He is chair and professor in the Computer Science program. He is interim director of the Computational Bioscience Research Center. He is the deputy director of the Smart Health Initiative, and he is the lead in the Structural and Functional Bioinformatics Group. Please join me in welcoming Professor Xin Gao to the stage.
Thank you, Samia. Good evening, everyone. Salam alaikum. So first thing first, let me take a photo of this full house from this angle so that I can keep my memory. Okay? Selfie? Yeah, that's smarter. Yeah. Let me do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming to this opening night of WEP 2024. As you have just heard from Tony about his understanding and vision of the theme of this year, let me give you a little bit more background on the theme itself. So this theme is actually the result of a brainstorming discussion between myself and Professor David Keyes, who is no stranger to WEP and to KAUST. He was a founder of the university. He was the founding dean of SAMC division since the beginning of KAUST. And more importantly, to me personally, he was the one who recruited and brought me to KAUST back 13 years ago. So the motivation of this theme itself is because we are now at the era of AI. And during the past decade, we have witnessed the success of a series of groundbreaking technologies in AI, such as ImageNet, AlphaGo, AlphaFold, and more recently, ChatGPT. And we find ourselves at a very crucial time point. We are right on the threshold of a new era that is the most transformative in human history. And AI is not limited to computer science or engineering, but currently spans across every single discipline, as mentioned by Tony, such as health, energy, environment, industry, programming, robotics, food, oceans, plants, and you name it. At the same time, as a KAUST-E, we also find ourselves at a crucial time point. We are right on the threshold of the so-called KAUST 2.0, where we are equipped with new strategic plans, with new challenges, with new expectations, with Vision 2030, with RDI priorities, and with ambition of the kingdom. So therefore, these combined together make all of us, students and researchers at KAUST, to be adventurers by definition. And thus, the name Digital Adventure came. So Tony has already mentioned one of our keynote speakers, Shuaib Akhtar. And here, I would like to highlight two other keynote speakers that I find myself to be very interested in among the many, Rick Fox and Eric Lee. I don't know how many of you watch NBA, but I myself is a big NBA fan. I used to watch Rick Fox to play on TV a lot because he was a former teammate of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, whom I'm sure that you are very familiar with. And he is now known as an NBA star who later on turned into climate entrepreneur to save the world. And I'm sure that his story will inspire you to go beyond the word you know and embrace the new experience. The second keynote speaker that I want to highlight is Eric Lee, a Chinese-American venture capitalist who has founded Chengwei Capital with an investment portfolio of over $3 billion US. He is also the founder of Guancha Night, one of China's largest news and opinion medias. So make sure that you don't miss these keynote talks. Beyond the workshops and keynotes, please make sure to explore our host country. Visit Jeddah's historical town, Al-Balad, or go hiking in the beautiful mountain surrounding Jeddah. And make sure to attend the special improviser production on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And for the first time ever in WEP history, Community Life is bringing us a comedy show in both Arabic and English. So please make sure to catch one of them. So to conclude, WEP is an opportunity to broaden our horizons, engage with diverse perspectives, and build valuable connections with established individuals. So my advice to you as the chair of WEP 2024 is to seize the opportunity and make most out of this WEP, and let us embark on this journey of digital adventure together with open minds and boundless enthusiasm. Thank you. So now, it is my great pleasure to announce the winning design for the WEP 2024 Key Visual Design Contest, and selected from an exceptional pool of entries from universities all over the country. You can see the design in all WEP content online and around the campus. So please join me in congratulating the talented Nora Al-Gamdi, a graphic design student at Taif University. You want to come on stage? Yeah. So I hope that you were not surprised when I announced your name.
No, I get my speak ready
I see.
this morning.
I see.
Yeah, Bismillah. Oh,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Well, they didn't tell me that I need to get speak, but I prepared for it. I want to extend my sincere appreciation for choosing my visual design for the WEP 2024 event, which responds the spirit of digital adventure and the power by AI. Thank you for inviting me to attend this significant occasion, and I wish you all the best in making it great. Thank you.
A photo together?
Please take your photo.
Lo, can you take a photo for us, please?
I need to post it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. you. So now it's time to formally start our WEP 2024 by our first keynote talk. It is my great honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, Dr. Xin Gao. So Dr. Campbell is currently the Vice President of Innovation and Economic Development at KAUST and the Executive Director of Special Projects under the Office of the President. He collaborates with the university researchers and the leadership to help accelerate the digital economy in the kingdom. He also supports the university's forward vision to leverage KAUST science and innovation to make an impact beyond the walls of the campus itself, and to create collaborations and identify opportunities where KAUST can contribute. The aim of the special projects is to convene minds and resources together to work on impactful projects and to deliver solutions to benefit the wider kingdom and beyond. So let me give you a little bit more background of his outstanding career. Before joining KAUST, he was the executive chair of Innovate UK, a part of the UK Research and Innovation in 2020. He also directed Health and Life Sciences, led the initiative to secure COVID-19 response package from the British government in 2020 to support thousands of UK businesses to survive and thrive the pandemic. Dr. Campbell has extensive entrepreneurial and business experience in the healthcare sector. Before Innovate UK, he was the CEO of Aqua Diagnostics, which focuses on bladder and prostate cancer diagnosis. And before that, he spent 15 years in a variety of executive management roles within the health and life science sector. He was recognized by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth's New Year Honors List and was appointed Officer of the Order of the British Empire for the service to innovation. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Campbell.
Assalamu alaikum. No selfies from me. I don't want to embarrass anybody else, and I don't want to show up my technical limitations with a mobile phone. I'm delighted to be here. I'm reminded tonight of how I first came to understand KAUST. And that was 4 years ago, whilst I was at Innovate UK. I had the pleasure of coming here to give a keynote speech on innovation. And just to prove that history does repeat itself, I'm here tonight giving a keynote on innovation, amongst other things. So just remember, if you miss one opportunity, another one might come around, which is probably one of the most important lessons in life. I'm delighted to be asked to start to build the National Transformation Institute at KAUST. The National Transformation Institute combines our strategy with the ability to impact the RDI, or Research Development Innovation Authority's own agendas around health and wellness, energy, sustainable environment, and economies of the future. All of the things that KAUST is known for. KAUST was built on 4 seeds: energy, food, water, sustainability. So it's not so much of a revolution of KAUST strategy, but an evolution, and one that brings us closer to King Abdullah's vision, which was both to create a beacon for learning and education, and to disseminate that knowledge into practical use to benefit not just the kingdom, but the world. And I think it's very important that we realize that KAUST is still an embryo in terms of a university. It's 14 years old. If you look at where I come from in the UK, Oxford is over 500 years old. And in that time, we've gone to #1 in the Middle East in the latest rankings. But with that 14 years, we've built up knowledge, capability, and people. And now it's time to translate that knowledge created through scientific endeavors into real tangible benefits for the kingdom and beyond, which is the role of NTI and why it was established. Our new strategy is all about accelerating impact. That is about driving those ideas from today through the various technology readiness levels up to a point where they can be considered ready for commercialization or adoption. In addition to that, with KAUST, our key mandate is to address those 4 key pillars, and everything we do within the National Transformation Institute will be geared towards that. But in order to achieve accelerating impact and enhancing commercialization, we've also got to rebalance what KAUST does. So we're going to slightly restructure our research funding to ensure that we are more applied. We will create the NTI, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, but also we want to leverage external help and support while we do it. KAUST is a 200-faculty university. We are very small. We only take in approximately 400 graduates a year, so therefore we don't have critical mass. So what we must do is leverage our knowledge and our infrastructure, find partners and collaborators, and build that knowledge into robust solutions for the future. And in doing that, our effort is to make sure that we maintain our academic standing, and we also provide that boost to the economy and to the endeavors of the government at large within the kingdom. We are ready to do this by aligning ourselves to the kingdom's priorities. As we said before, the Research, Development and Innovation Authority looks at the sustainable environment, the economies of the future, energy and industrial leadership, and also health and wellness. We explicitly say that anything that we do will be contained within these, and our aim is to build critical mass in these areas, to accelerate the research, and to deliver us into a position of partnership and being a partner of choice, not just within the kingdom, but internationally also. The National Transformation Institute isn't going to be a physical building. You're not going to walk into the NTI. It is all of us. It is KAUST. We are going to build a virtual institute using and leveraging all the talents of KAUST on prescriptive problems and challenges, making sure that we create value through the combined efforts of everyone here in KAUST. It's important that we realize the real-world impact of our research and create opportunities to collaborate with others, as I've said, but then to build synergies that take them further into commercialization. And then a lot of times that will require industrial partnerships, because we want to get our technologies to TRL6, TRL7, and then we want that to go to the market because we want it to scale. So here's one of my sayings is, innovation is not invention. Innovation is the successful deployment of a good idea, be that commercially or otherwise, to benefit individuals. And there are more and more these days, innovation is about the successful commercial deployment of technologies or novel solutions. But it doesn't have to be a shiny widget. It can be a good idea, it can be a process, or it could be a digital endeavor, keeping in line with the digital adventures theme that we have for WEP. We also need to realize when building partnerships, there is no greater force for adopting innovation than governments. The government tends to be the largest procurer of innovation in any society. So in order to achieve the mandate of NTI, we are going to work very closely across the ministries of the kingdom. We're going to work with ministers, with their advisors, to try and understand what are your key challenges. And from that, we need to align it back to what are KAUST strengths, build those together into projects, and run those projects through to the end. An important word for us here is discipline, because the challenges that we face are not going to be small and insignificant nor easy. They're going to be exceedingly difficult and challenging. We can't afford to keep running projects hoping that they're going to be successful. So we're going to build a framework that allows us to measure the success and milestones of the projects. And if we need to, we will take difficult decisions and stop projects that are not going to meet their end goals. The aim of NTI is to provide solutions. It's not to keep doing research for the pursuit of new knowledge. That belongs very much within the research division under Pierre Magistretti's leadership. But we're hoping by taking these later stage projects and scaling them, that will create an impetus to build startups, to build investment, to get growth, to create jobs, and provide new opportunities so that once you've gone through university and you decide to pursue an industrial career, that there are jobs here within KAUST in the Kingdom that you can walk into to help further that endeavour and create a good lifestyle for yourselves at the same time. But in order to do this, we've got to be responsive, we've got to be rapid, we've got to make clear decisions, and we've got to be committed to the outcomes. So in summary, we're going to build an NTI, we're going to concentrate on collaborations and partnerships, and we're going to align it to the Research, Development and Innovation Authority priorities. What I want to do now is give 3 specific examples of projects that are NTI projects, maybe highlighting why they're NTI projects and what we hope to achieve out of them. Before we go into the projects, just want to reiterate that NTI is a bridge between government and academia and industry and giga projects. And we must have all 3 together working in synergy to create the capacity, the knowledge, the scale, and the output that we desire in terms of adoption. So we see this as being at the core of bridging between KAUST's historic research endeavours and the demands of industry and the government at large. The NTI is a reformation of some of KAUST. So we are going to take innovation, which is the technology transfer team, the innovation ecosystem, which includes our seed funding, our entrepreneur center, and our SME support, alongside stakeholder engagement. We're going to leverage the know-how and deployment of our consultancy through KAUST Beacon Development, and we're going to undertake large projects such as the Reef Restoration Initiative at Shusha, cryogenic carbon capture, and leverage KAUST Smart. All of those have different roles to play, and I'll describe them in a minute. But we want to have national priorities at our heart, so across all of those, we'll be looking for real relevance and engagement, academic liaison, and looking at national and international imperatives, such as our new relationship with Shenzhen in China, where we are taking entrepreneurs, going to immerse them in an MSc in technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship, expose them to the Shenzhen prototyping environment, allow them to come back with business ideas, and hopefully start to fund their startup companies once they've gone through the project successfully. Again, trying to build knowledge, know-how, and capability within the Kingdom. Now, one of the reasons why I came to KAUST is I was asked to take a look at a project to restore the reefscape at Shusha Island. This is 100 hectares of reef, some of which is naturally thriving, other parts are degraded, but Shusha Island is going to be a destination for NEOM, an eco-tourist destination. And the task that KAUST was asked to deliver was to put 2 million fragments of coral into 100 hectares and do that over 5 years. To give you the context, when the original project was proposed, it was going to be 500 meters and it was going to be done over 10 years. So what do we have to do? First of all, we use beacon development and our scientists at KAUST to baseline the reefscape, what does need to be restored, what doesn't. So we are creating a digital twin. So even in coral restoration, which is a highly manual process, we create the digital twin. Why? It provides a baseline for us to understand what's going on at the reefscape today, and also allows us to do time lapses to understand how we are impacting that environment from a marine perspective. Are we deploying the right corals? And also, if there is an environmental event such as a bleaching, can we detect it early? Can we see what the warning signs are? Can we intervene? Can we use and leverage KAUST science that's done through the Red Sea Center to understand more about the impact of what we're doing? Secondly, we want everybody to experience our science. So by creating a digital twin, whether you can swim or not, we can bring the reefscape to you. You can put on a headset and you can be able to understand what we're trying to do, bringing the science forward. But the reality is we have to plant 2 million corals in 5 years. How are we going to do that? So I'm pleased to say we've just finished the building and construction of the development nursery at Hadda Beach, just south of the line at Neom. It will allow us to test the conditions to grow corals in a factory-like condition, similar to growing cells for cell culture for doing experiments in a lab. Coral is very powerful. It can regenerate itself, so you create small fragments and lots of them, they will grow. By altering the temperature of the water, we can understand how the corals will grow. We can take water from the depths of the sea, make sure that it's right for the corals, and then we can deploy it down. We will test that in our development nursery. Eventually, in late 2025, we will open our primary nursery, which will be capable of producing 400,000 fragments of coral per year. Alongside that, we will create a dive operation of about 90 to 100 divers who will each be planting corals for about 90 to 120 days each year over the 5 years to allow us to reach our target. More importantly than that, we can use KAUST science to understand, are we making a difference? Can we use different substrates? Can we use different glues? Are there different ways of optimizing the coral restoration process throughout? Then we can keep creating the digital twin and monitor it for another 20 years, because our promise to the government is that a thriving coral reef will be established by 2040. So that is an NTI project. Why? It has a defined goal. We must plant 2 million corals. We have key measurements throughout. We're using a combination of KAUST technology. We have an external partner in Neom and the ability to measure what we're doing and decide if we must stop or pivot at any time. The second project is environmental in nature, and that we are establishing a platform for the cryogenic carbon capture. So under the guidance of Professor Bill Roberts, we have created a technology to capture carbon at a power plant. So this is the Duba Green power plant just south of Neom, and the aim is to use cryogenic carbon capture technology to capture 30 tons of carbon per day. Now, we know that there is an aim to eventually be fossil fuel free, but we know there's a transition period, so we must try and minimize the damage from combustion. So if we can demonstrate that we can extract 30 tons of carbon dioxide per day from the environment, then we can scale that across other power plants. The other benefit is that liquid CO2 is a commodity that can be sold. So the liquid CO2, there's a shortage in the world, will be sold to Neom, and Neom will use it to create e-gasoline to fuel the Paris-Dakar rally. And all that should take place, hopefully, by the end of the summer next year. If successful, this project will be adopted across the kingdom. Our stakeholders for this are the Ministry of Energy and the Saudi Electric Company, and we can demonstrate at scale, then this technology could be exported internationally. And whilst it doesn't mitigate all the risks of CO2 production, it at least gives us a start to minimize the damage that we're doing to the environment. The third project I really like. So this was run by KAUST Beacon Development in conjunction with the Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture. And it's to create a new industry for the kingdom. Right now, the kingdom imports almost $380 million worth of animal feed and fish feed each year. There is no nascent industry. However, scientists at KAUST discovered that a strain of algae was able to grow in seawater and sunlight. And having been in the UK for a long time over the past 3 weeks, I can testify this technology would not work in the UK. However, if you go just a couple of miles up the road, you will come across a series of raceways that look like we have here. So these are 150-meter raceways capable of producing hundreds of tons of dried algae each year. So we use seawater, sunlight, and a strain of algae. We can dry that down and use it as fish food, animal food, or even, if you like it, human food, which is not that uncommon for using algae. However, we don't have an industry in the kingdom that can do this at the moment. So working with MIWA, we're going to train scientists to do it. We're going to produce 100 tons per year, and that can then be scaled up and exported abroad. It captures carbon, it uses natural resources, and we have MIWA as a government partner. Again, highlighting a very simple process with very complex science, with definite benefit to the kingdom and potentially also to the environment. It's a unique opportunity to scale something truly from a bench experiment into swimming pools worth of algae and protein. In order to be successful, KAUST is also reliant on creating its own IP and finding a home for that and licensing it. So a very important part of the NTI offering is the Technology Transfer Office. Under our new strategy, we want to drive commercial income, and we want to drive that from the knowledge and know-how that's created here in the campus. We want to license that so, again, that those products and services that I talked about are going to be created and go out into the world, be adopted at scale and commercialized. And in order to do that, under the leadership of Sean and his team, we're hoping to create real opportunities to license the great IP that's worked on by our tremendous faculty here at KAUST. We are the #1 office in the kingdom for technology transfer at the moment, and we're very close to being #1 in the region, but we must do more to try and drive the IP generation and also the licensing of that to external companies and institutions. To give you a sense of scale, since KAUST was formed, we have 1,900-ish inventions assessed. We've had over 1,200 patents granted and generated almost 214 IP deals from $49 million of research translational funding. So we've demonstrated at small scale that NTI can work because we've got examples already of successfully exploiting IP. We've also been relatively good at company creation in that time, filling up the research technology park. What we're developing now is a process of filtering and assessing opportunities, working with the ministries, looking at how we would address their challenges through the IP we have in our books, and then ensuring that we patent good ideas that are commercially relevant such that they can be exploited in the future. I'm surprised my slides have stopped. However, I will ad-lib. It's important that we combine technology transfer and also the delivery of projects in a cordial relationship with faculty and a collaborative relationship with our partners, and have an idea of where the problems are that KAUST can solve. One of the big issues that I will have, I hope, coming out of WEP and other activities is an abundance of projects and ideas coming forward that we have to assess and critically look at in order to determine whether or not we can take them forward. Does it fit with KAUST? Do we have the funding for it? Does it solve a problem? Are we likely to succeed? Can we do it in a timely manner? Those are the critical success factors that I'm looking for in order for my team to be able to deliver on the mandate that we've been given. We're fortunate that we have 3 good projects to start with. We aim to have no more than a maximum of 7 ongoing at any one time, and we will ramp that up over next year and the year after. In the meantime, I would encourage you to look at the Vision 2030 document. Try and understand for your disciplines where the technology barriers might be, where the opportunities for solutions are, and to come forward and be bold and be ambitious, because we need great plans in order to fulfill the mandate that we've been given. Thank you very much for listening. I've really enjoyed being here again. Have a wonderful week, and really take advantage of the time that you have to meet with as many people as you can and get as many insights as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yin, for the fascinating talk. I'm very sure that under your leadership, we will be doing something that is very successful in terms of technology transfer and making impact to the kingdom. So now, we have someone special joining us from Amluch. For those of you who do not know, Amluch is at the north of Saudi Arabia. So as Tony has already mentioned in his remark, this special guest is Professor Matteo Parsani, who is currently on a 30-day trip, hand cycling trip from east to west of Saudi Arabia, and creating impact by bringing awareness about people with disabilities. So having started on December 17th, 2023, and so far having completed about 1,700 kilometers, Matteo is now in Umluj, and we are excited to check in with him through Zoom. But let me show you a short video of Matteo and his trip first.
I'm Matteo Parsani, and I'm a professor at King Abdullah University of Science and Technology in Applied Mathematics and Computational Science. In 2017, I had a road accident that led me to have a spinal cord injury. A couple of years later, I started to ride again a bike. I got inspiration, I got energy, I got back, my freedom. I have decided 1.5 years ago, after talking with a few friends and my brother, to cross Saudi Arabia. The journey is called Athar-East to West, which means positive impact. The journey will be 30 days long, and I will be visiting 10 main cities. The message that I want to give is to give a message of hope, a determination, and whichever challenge we face in life, we should face it, overcome it, and punch the holes into the dark.
I'm looking forward to meet you all. Yalla, Abu Yara.
Hello. Hi, Matteo.
Hello. Good evening.
How are you, man? Can you see us?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yes, clearly. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How are things?
Everything is going well. We reach Umluj today around 1 p.m. And now here in the hotel, all the team together, attending the opening of the WEP 2024.
Okay. So let me ask you several questions on behalf of our students and people at KAUST. But let me first begin with my personal question. So the rumor said that you have been treated extremely well, like a king. So you have been put into all fancy places, restaurants. Is it true?
Yeah, it's true.
You deserve it. Okay. Yeah, but seriously, so what are some of the most exciting moments to you so far?
First of all, there was no city where Saudi people that would meet us would not show, what they call it half hour, which is the special welcoming, the warm welcoming that, distinguish Saudi people. And there was a lot of, build up from Dammam to Riyadh to other city. We had the chance and the possibility to meet Prince Sultan, His Royal Highness Prince Sultan, the eldest son of the king. That was really a key moment in Riyadh, because it led us, to many other things. Another important things that I want to highlight is, that during the journey, we started with 10, 11 people. We didn't know each other except few of us. And as of now, we are a group of friends and family that went through, several, challenges, issue. And I want to take the opportunity to thank, each of the members here. We start from Body, the guy with the white shirt, who is taking care of the biosensor, the science that we are testing on the road. We have Mahmoud, which is the drone operator. Nawaf, the photographer. We have Roy, who is the physiotherapist, and other 10 additional jobs. Without him, we wouldn't be here. We have Dr. Raif, who is following us on the journey. We have Aziz, videographer. We have the superstar, you know, the leader of the team, which is Abdulaziz Murtada. Everybody knows him at KAUST. And finally, we have the other superstar, Abdul Rahman from Government Affairs, who is helping us, you know, going through smoothly the road, you know, having the police escorting us, you know, and for any issue that rises here, he is there.
Yeah, so you really have a dream team coming together with you. And among the team members, I only know Abdulaziz, but I'm sure that all the others are great supporters and helpers for your journey. And on behalf of WEP and on behalf of KAUST, we thank the team, everyone in the team, very much for supporting and protecting Matteo. Okay. So you also mentioned about challenges. What are the most challenging things during your journey so far?
So let me start to say that, you know, I train a lot during the last year physically. And so far, you know, from a physical point of view, I have been doing, you know, fairly well. I think that in some regard, the training at KAUST between, you know, biking 80 to 100 kilometers per day and swimming 2,000, 2,500 meters in the pool was more challenging than, you know, what I'm facing on the road here. On the contrary, at the mental level, it has been, you know, extremely tough during the last week or so, due to, you know, probably, you know, mental tiredness, you know, after, you know, 17 days on the road, you know, a lot of emotion are bubbling inside. I'm at the point where, you know, if I want to go forward, I need to say, okay, let me bike until to that palm tree. And then once I reach the palm tree, I said, okay, let me bike until that rock, until, you know, I reach the end of the leg of the journey for that day. And there are some days where this is really, really difficult. Today also I had some kind of emotional breakdown during the road. Some of the people, some of the friends that you know, were looking at me, looking at us with the GoPro live, they probably noticed, you know, something, you know, on my face, and they send me WhatsApp or messages or email. So that was one of this is the challenging part. And on top of that, there were a few days in between Hail and Alula, where really the temperature, I mean, I come from a place in Italy which is much colder in winter, but during the night we reached 4 or 5 degrees inside the trailer where we sleep. The water was extremely cold to do shower, so that was also an additional you know, challenge, because really no heater and temperature low, so that was another thing.
Okay, so except for the warm water for shower, what do you miss the most?
Bresaola, pizza. I forget, you know, one of the other challenges, we have been trying to find a barber for me for the past 2 weeks, and we did not succeed. You can see my head. I'm not usually this way.
Yeah, so I don't want to waste too much of your time because you need a rest. But last question. So do you want to give the audience, our new students, some take-home message or some remark?
Yes, there is something that I wanted to say, and that I always say even during the meeting with children, with other people that we meet here. I think, you know, life is good. It's worth living, no matter what happens. And I think we should all set the bar always very high in terms of goal, very, very high, because at the end, even if we get, you know, 1/5, you know, of the full goal, we will still be very successful. So the message is, you know, have hope, self-determination, and aim high. Aim high, and, you know, with hard work, you will be able to achieve this. Some of my students at KAUST probably know, I always said that, you know, when I was in the class, when I was a student, I never been, the smartest guy in the class. I had colleagues that used to pick up things very quickly, in no time. For me, it was the opposite. I would have difficulties. I would go home and study. But with the hard work, I was able to achieve my goal, become a professor, to do science, and now I'm here. So really the message is go hard, go strong, dream big, and you will get where you want to be.
Look, man. So Matteo, seriously, I admire you and your efforts so much. And thank you and your team for taking this time to chat with us on Zoom. You know that once you come back on January 17th, everyone will be here on campus waiting for you and for your team to arrive. Tony will be here, Suzana will be here, I will be here. You have everything, warm water for shower, everything except alcohol, okay? So we are waiting for your return. And take care, man, and I will see you on January 17th. Thank you, Matteo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take care.
Don't forget that there's Mimi.
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, Professor Xin. And so now to the last part of our program today. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our talented performer for the evening, Michael Oyenloy. Michael is currently a third-year PhD student in chemical engineering at KAUST. He is from Nigeria and is a passionate individual who finds joy not only in academics, but also in the world of music. You may recognize him from his outstanding musical contributions at various KAUST events, such as Global Art Fusion, KAUST Ensemble, and other gatherings organized by the Office of the Arts and KAUST Community Life. Last year, Michael showcased his exceptional talents and emerged as the victorious contender in the fiercely competitive KAUST Got Talent competition. Tonight, we are in for a treat. Michael is all set to captivate us with two soul-stirring performances, Daydream by Lily Miola and Rise Up by Andra Day. So please join me in welcoming Michael.
When we were kids in the backyard, playing astronauts and rock stars, no one told us to stop it, called us unrealistic. Now suddenly you're 18, you go to college for your plan B. What you want is too risky. Live for weekends and whiskey. We all got these big ideas. One day they're replaced with fears. How did we get here? Darling, don't quit your daydream. It's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? 31 waiting tables, she got a voice of an angel. Out of money and power, she only sings in the shower. All the things we said we'd get to, shut down by the reasons not to. Darling, don't quit your daydream. It's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? So scared of failure that we'll fail to try, turning around before the finish line. Gotta fall for a minute before we can fly. So daydream, it's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? Do this one standing. Let's leave this sound out of the way. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we can work it out. Move mountains, we can work it out. Move mountains, and I rise up, I rise like the day, I rise up, I rise unafraid, I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I rise up, high like the waves, I rise up, in spite of the ache, I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And for you, for you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the words to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I rise up, I rise like the day, I rise up, I rise unafraid, I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And for you, for you, for you, for you. All we need, all we need is hope. And for that we have each other. And for that we have each other. Yeah. We will rise, and we'll rise. Oh, we'll rise. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like today, I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again. And I rise up, high like the waves, I rise up. In spite of the ache, I rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. And for you, for you, for you, for you. For you, for you.
Thank you, Michael. That was truly beautiful. And with that, we conclude today's program, and I would like to invite you all to join the reception in the lobby. And looking forward to see you tomorrow for both our distinguished talks and our keynote talk. Thank you very much.